All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at part 3, which I'm going to call the reel. Sketch tools we're going to look at is construction line, point, constraints, share sketch, trim, revolve, hole, and the main one is going to be circular pattern with this, as well as give you some more practice on revolve. So first thing I'm going to do, as always, is start out with a 2D sketch. This 2D sketch, I want it to be on the XY plane. I scroll down, and I'm going to make this shape right here. And eventually, I'm going to revolve it. So, grab a line, and I'm going to draw this shape. Don't care about dimensions. I'll dimension it here in just a bit. Now, this didn't turn out quite perpendicular, so I'll grab the perpendicular constraint, and now it is. Now, it may be hard to see, but the other thing that's on here is a construction line. So I'm going to grab my line tool again, bring it over, hit the escape key to get out of that, right click and make it a construction line. Now I'm ready to dimension. Now most of the things I'm going to dimension are going to be from the construction line out. So let's start there. I got 2.5, so I'm going to go 2.5 from the construction line up to the very top. All right, get this back into frame. And then my next one is going to be 1 inch from the construction line to this little ledge right here. And lastly is going to be 0.375 bottom. So I do that. And now I'll get my widths. So my next width is going to be 1 inch, 1.0. And my top width is going to be 0.5. And that looks pretty good. So I will finish my sketch. Now I'm going to revolve just like I did on the button sleeve. So I go up here to revolve. I've selected my profile and I want to revolve fully 360 degrees around my construction line axis. And then I hit the green check mark. Now I get a shape that looks like a disc. But if I rotate my view cube, you'll notice that I have this piece jutting out right here. Okay, next thing I want to do is if I scroll down here, it gives me some information. It says, apply a sketch and place a point that is vertically aligned with the sketch origin and located the appropriate distance from the part center point. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch because I need to put a point, and I'll start it on this face of the disc. The point, again, I can go from the center point, but really I can put this point anywhere that I want to on the sketch. So there we go, and it's in the crosshairs. Now it says aligned with the sketch origin and located the appropriate distance. Now we got to figure out what the appropriate distance is. And this is given to us over here of 1.65 inches. So I'm going to dimension from my point to the center point of the graph. Actually, this doesn't like that. Let me back out of here. I'm going to draw a line across my circle, and there we go. Hit escape, and I'm going to make this actually a center line, which is similar to a construction line. Now I'm going to have something to dimension off of. So I'm going to dimension my point from here to here. And this gives me a diameter there. So I'm going to type 1.65 times 2 because actually I want a radius. So I got my point there. Now that's all I want to do for that particular sketch. So I'm going to finish the sketch. And now it says, use the hole feature to place a 0.5 diameter through hole located on the point. So I'm going to click on the point, click on create hole, and I can go back up here and see a 0.5 through hole. So I can just type 0.5, hit my green check mark, and I get that very large hole. Now, pattern function allows the user to make multiple copies of an existing feature, and I can use the circular pattern. Last time I used circular pattern in a 2D sketch. This time I'll use it in 3D. So I'm going to go up here. I'm in 3D. I'll grab my circular pattern and select the features first. So my features are the hole, and I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see what's going on. The rotation axis, I want to rotate it around the center. And notice how I get some writing pop up and I get these green circles. This is a preview of what it's going to do. Now, this tells me I want 10 holes. So instead of 6, I'm going to type 10. And I now get 10 holes. All right. We are almost done with our real part. Looks pretty sweet. The next thing we need to do is, if I go back up here to the drawing, notice that there's a little keyhole cut inside of the reel. Well, that's fine. So let's put a little keyhole in here. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch on the reel. This time all I want is a rectangle. And I'm going to do about half of the rectangle out into the open space.
Jessica DeBoard, please come to the office.
And
Jessica DeBoard.
then I'm going to finish my sketch. Okay? Now, I guess an option to extrude it. I don't want to extrude out, so I'm going to change this to a cut. And let's see, I want to extrude this through all, so it goes all the way through. I hit the check mark and kind of look around. That looks okay to me. So let's go back to the home screen, and now I will change the color again. Let's make this one galvanized steel now. I'll make this one magenta. That sounds pretty good. And then I will save as, and I'm going to call it 5.5A part 3 real. And you should always save this, of course, in your user drive.